Hi, my name is Jonathan Alloy. I recently took on a new executive role in consulting, and it came after a long career as an individual contributor and a manager in the banking industry. I've worked with Frank for several years now through several job transitions. Each position I was hired for after working with Frank was a promotion. It was a promotion in responsibility, it was a promotion in compensation. And as I grew in my career, I found that Frank was also able to scale. When I was interviewing for jobs as an individual contributor in banking, he was able to help me hit those high notes. When I was interviewing for an executive position in consulting, it's a completely different interview process, and he was just as effective in working with me there. In each case, what Frank really helped me do well was figure out what experiences and stories do I need to tell in this case with this set of interviews. And by working with him at each step of the hiring process, he helped me tailor what was right to say in the moment, what to expect, what to be prepared for. It was about how do I present myself in the best possible way, especially in what can be a very stressful interview situation, like interviewing with a panel. But the other thing, which is equally important, is help me practice those stories and polish them to get the key gems out of them. So even if you got a story that's kind of a diamond in the rough, what I found with Frank is I could work with him and we would go through it a couple different times. And he would give me tangible feedback. Say this a little more, talk less about this. Don't forget that part, cut this other part. And we really polished the story into a gem quality diamond. The first thing that struck me when I met Frank was his genuineness and his ability to relate as a person. And you're tackling those really hard questions like, when did you fail, as well as when did you succeed? And Frank has a genuineness about him that makes him very easy to talk to, and he's very trustworthy. So you feel comfortable sharing those experiences because I can trust that he's going to help me polish it into something reasonable to say in an interview. After working with Frank to prepare for my interviews, I was very confident going into them because even though I didn't know what they were going to decide, I knew that I was prepared to do the thing that I had control over, which was explaining my rationale for getting the job. I was able to articulate, why do I feel I'm the best person to take on this responsibility based on these prior experiences. And I felt that way because I felt prepared from the conversations that Frank and I had had. And what Frank was able to do was help me discover my own voice during the interview process. So he worked with me each step of the way when I would get to each successive round, which got more and more intense each time. And we would prepare for that. And he would make himself available. Even when we lived on opposite coasts and different time zones, he would make himself available so that we could prepare effectively for the people I was going to be speaking to.